My friends, stop. Just stop the struggle. Stop the straining. Stop trying to force the heavy doors of the new year open with your sheer will. You have been told that to succeed in January, you must work harder, grind faster, and fight for your good. But I am here to tell you that the spirit knows no struggle. The superconscious mind, that great universal supply, does not respond to your anxiety. It does not respond to your desperate efforts. It responds to your clarity. Think of the universe as a great cosmic storehouse. Imagine you are standing at the counter. If you approach the counter and you mumble or you say, "I don't know what I want. I just don't want to be hungry," the clerk cannot serve you. But if you walk up with the head held high and you place an order, distinct, definite, and bold, the universe must deliver it. This January, you are not a beggar. You are a commander. Why are you trying so hard when you could simply speak the word? Florence Scovel Shinn taught us that the game of life is a game of boomerangs. What you send out in a clear, ringing voice returns to you. If you send out confusion, asking for a better year, but never defining what better looks like, you will receive a vague, cloudy existence. But if you sit down today and you write, "I give thanks for the unexpected check of $5,000, or "I give thanks for the perfect health that is mine by divine right," then you have placed an order. You must stop looking at the obstacles. When you try hard, you are telling the universe, "I do not trust that this is already mine." You are pushing it away with your very own doubt. Resistance creates a wall. Clarity creates a bridge. So, how do you order your January blessings? You get quiet. You still the senses, and you look into the invisible realm. You say, "Infinite Spirit, open the way for my immediate supply. Let all that is mine by divine right reach me in great avalanches of abundance, under grace, and in miraculous ways." Do you feel the difference? There is no trying in that statement. There is only knowing. The universe is waiting for your blueprint. It is waiting for you to stop crying over the past year and to start decreeing the new one. Be specific. Be fearless. Your good is not far away. It is right here, suspended in the air around you, waiting for the magnet of your clear, focused, and faithful word to pull it down. Stop trying harder. Stand still and order your blessings. Let us go deeper, much deeper, into this great spiritual mystery, the law of non-resistance. My friends, you have been trained by the world to believe that the harder you push, the faster you will arrive. But in the realm of spirit, this is a lie. The moment you try, you introduce tension. And tension is the greatest enemy of manifestation. Imagine, if you will, a telephone wire. If that wire is pinched, twisted, and pulled tight by anxiety, the message cannot get through. The signal is distorted. Your mind is that wire. When you are worried, when you are trying to force a result this January, you are pinching the line of intuition. You are cutting off your connection to infinite intelligence. Florence Scovel Shinn taught us that what you resist persists. When you fight a situation, when you wake up in the morning and say, "I must battle this debt," or "I must fight for this job," you are feeding that problem with your own energy. You are making the obstacle a giant, and you are making yourself very small. You are telling the universe, "I am afraid." And because the universe is a faithful mirror, it reflects that fear back to you as more obstacles and more struggle. So, what is the secret? The secret is to stand still. This does not mean you do nothing physically. It means you do nothing fearfully. It means you walk up to that lion of lack or that giant of confusion, and you look it in the eye without flinching. You say to the obstacle, "You have no power over me. You are an illusion. My supply comes from God." And God is never late. Do you see the image of the drowning man? The man who thrashes and kicks and screams in the water sinks. But the man who relaxes, who lies back and trusts the water to hold him, floats. The ocean of divine substance is trying to hold you up this January. But you must stop thrashing. You must unclench your fists. You cannot receive a gift if your hands are balled up in a fight. Open your hands, drop the mental burden, declare, I cast this burden on the Christ within, and I go free to be happy. When you cease the struggle, the friction stops, and when the friction stops, the machinery of the universe begins to glide smoothly, silently, and perfectly in your favor. Stop trying, start trusting. That is the law of non-resistance. Now, we arrive at the great stumbling block for so many seekers, the power of specificity. Most people are wandering through life in a fog. They cry out to the heavens, I want more. They cry out, I want to be happy. They cry out, I want to be rich. But my friends, more is not a number. Happy is not a destination. And rich is not a measurement. Infinite intelligence is a precision instrument. It works with mathematical exactness. If you were to walk into a hardware store and ask the clerk for something to fix a house, he would look at you with confusion. He could give you a hammer or a nail or a saw. He cannot help you until you tell him exactly what you need. It is the same with the universal supply. You must understand that the subconscious mind is like a faithful camera. It takes the picture you provide and it develops it into your reality. If your picture is blurry, if your lens is out of focus, the photograph of your life will be a smudge. It will be a chaotic mess of half-finished desires. You must provide a sharp, clear outline. Do not say, I need some money for January. That is weak. That is vague. Instead, you say, Infinite Spirit, I give thanks for the sum of $3,000, which comes to me under grace, in a perfect way, by the 31st of this month. Do you feel the power in that? You have given the universe a container to fill. Water cannot hold its shape without a vessel. Your word is that vessel. Florence Scovel Shinn reminded us that to prepare for a thing is to attract it. But how can you prepare if you do not know what is coming? If you desire a home, do not just dream of a house. See the rooms, count the windows, feel the texture of the rugs. Is it a cottage? Is it a mansion? Is it in the city? You must build the mental mold first. The architect does not start building a cathedral by throwing bricks in a pile. He draws a blueprint. Every line, every angle is measured. You are the architect of your destiny. There is a danger here. If you are not careful, if you ask for a job, but you do not specify perfect working conditions, you may get the job, but with a tyrant for a boss. If you ask for money, but do not add under grace, it may come to you through an accident or a loss. So, you must be exact, you must be bold, and you must be perfect in your description. Clear the fog from your mind. Take a pen, write it down, make your demand definite. I desire the divine selection of my life partner. I desire the perfect employment for the perfect pay. When you are clear, the universe snaps to attention, the confusion vanishes, the path straightens, and the blessing, knowing exactly where to go, rushes toward you. My friends, let us change your posture. For too long you have approached the gates of the new year like a beggar. You have approached the great universal supply with a hat in your hand, head bowed low, hoping for a scrap, hoping for a crumb to fall from the table. You say, please, if it is not too much trouble, might I have a little happiness? You say, I hope someday things might get better. I am here to startle you into the truth. Stop begging. The infinite spirit does not pity the beggar. The infinite spirit is a loving father. Does a loving father want his child to crawl in the dirt, begging for a piece of bread? No, it breaks the father's heart. He says, all that I have is thine. He says, arise, stand up, take what is yours. You must shift immediately from the mindset of asking to the mindset of ordering. Think of it this way. When you go to a fine restaurant, do you fall to your knees in front of the waiter? Do you cry? Do you explain how hungry you are? Do you recount all the meals you missed last year? Of course not. That would be absurd. You sit down, you pick up the menu, you make a selection, and then, with total composure, you give your order. I will have this. And once you have given the order, what do? Do you wonder if the kitchen exists? Do you worry if the chef likes you? No, you relax, you talk with your friends. You sip your water. You know that the meal is being prepared. You know it is on its way. This is the attitude you must have toward your blessings this January. The Bible tells us, "Decree a thing, and it shall be established unto you." It does not say, "Beg for a thing." It says, "Decree." To decree is to command. To command is to exercise authority. You are not a servant in this universe. You are in here. You are a prince or a princess of the kingdom. Your supply, your health, your love is your divine inheritance. When you beg, you vibrate at the frequency of "I do not have," and the universe says, "Yes, you do not have." But when you order, when you claim, you vibrate at the frequency of "It is mine," and the universe says, "Yes, it is yours." So, lift up your head, dry your eyes, stop recounting your lack. Walk boldly to the counter of divine supply. Slam your hand down gently, but firmly, on the counter of life, and say, "I demand my harvest. I order my success. I claim my miracle." Act as if you have already received it. That is the royal law. That is the ordering mindset. We come now to the weapon you hold in your hand every single hour of every single day. We speak of the spoken word. Florence Scovel Shinn wrote a famous book titled, "Your Word is Your Wand." Think about that image. A wand is a tool of magic, a tool of transformation. With a wave of a wand, the pumpkin becomes a carriage. With a wave of a wand, the obstacles vanish. You, my friend, are holding this wand. It is your tongue. Pause 2 seconds, but oh, how carelessly you wave it around. Imagine if you held a loaded weapon and you swung it around the room, firing wildly. You would destroy everything you loved. Yet, this is exactly what you do with your conversation. You wake up and say, "I am so tired." Boom. You have commanded the cells of your body to be exhausted. You look at your bank account and say, "I never have enough money." Boom. You have commanded your supply to shrink. You say, "This cold weather always makes me sick." Boom. You have invited the illness in. You are snared by the words of your mouth. The subconscious mind does not have a sense of humor. It does not know when you are joking. It simply hears the vibration and it obeys. Every word you speak goes out into the invisible ether and registers. It creates a vibration, and that vibration, like a homing pigeon, returns to you, laden with the result. If you speak of failure, you are preparing for failure. If you speak of disease, you are laying the foundation for disease. But the moment you realize your power, the moment you understand that your word is a wand, everything changes. You stop talking about the problem. You refuse to discuss your bad luck. You refuse to discuss the hard times. Instead, you wave the wand in the direction of your desire. Even if the sky is gray, you declare, "This is the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice." Even if your pockets are empty, you declare, "God is my unfailing supply." And large sums of money come to me quickly, under grace. You must act as a spy in your own mind. Watch your words. Catch yourself. If you start to say, "I am afraid that," stop. Cut the sentence off. Replace it immediately. Say, "I am fearless. I am protected. I am successful." Words are radio waves. You are the broadcaster. What station are you broadcasting on this January? Are you broadcasting the station of worry or the station of faith? Change the frequency. Speak only what you wish to see come true. Speak only of health. Speak only of wealth. Speak only of love. Wave your wand with intention.
Speak the word, and the trackless wilderness shall blossom as the rose.
My friends, we must now add the safety clause. We must speak of divine right and grace. There is a law known as the law of karma. It is the law of karma. It is the law of cause and effect. It is the law of earning. But there is a higher law, a law that transcends karma. It is the law of grace. Florence Scovel Shinn taught us that we should not seek to grab our blessings from the universe.
We must not snatch them. For if you snatch a blessing, if you force a situation through sheer human will, you may get what you want, but it will carry a burden. Have you ever forced a door open? You got in, but you broke the lock. Have you ever forced a relationship? You got the person, but you lost your peace of mind. This is what happens when you operate without grace.
You get the money, but you get a lawsuit with it. You get the house, but the roof leaks and the neighbors are enemies. We do not want just the result. We want the result perfectly. We want the blessing without the sorrow. That is why, whenever you place your order this January, you must add the magic words, under grace, and in a perfect way. When you say under grace,
you are telling the universe, I want this to come easily. I want this to come as a gift, not a struggle. You are stepping off the wheel of karma and into the elevator of miracles. And then there is divine right. Sometimes, my friends, we desire things that are not good for us. We desire a specific job that would actually make us miserable. We desire a specific person
who belongs to another, or who would break our heart. If you use your mental power to force these things, you will succeed, but you will suffer. So, we ask for divine selection. We say, I desire this, or its divine equivalent. You must be willing to let the infinite intelligence choose the best for you. You say, Infinite Spirit, if this specific job is mine by divine right, give it to me. If not, give me the job that is the divine equivalent. This takes great faith. It means admitting that the universe might have a better plan than you do. It means admitting that there is a divine design, a perfect pattern for your life. Do not be afraid of this. The divine design is always, always better than what you can imagine. The divine selection
fits you like a glove. It brings joy. It brings ease. It brings no regret. So, command your blessings. Be bold, but always, always, seal your command with the safety of spirit. I claim my good, under grace, in a perfect way. When you do this, you cannot lose. You are safe. And finally, we come to the ultimate test of the spiritual warrior. We come to trusting the invisible. My friends, we live in a world of senses. We are taught from birth to believe only what we can touch, taste, see, and hear. The reasoning mind looks at an empty bank account and says, I am broke. The reasoning mind looks at a medical report and says, I am sick. The reasoning mind looks at the calendar and says, it is too late. But I am here to tell you
that the reasoning mind is a liar. Florence Scovel Shinn taught us that we must walk by faith and not by sight. To trust the invisible means you must stop looking at the screen of life and look instead at the projector. Think of it like a cinema. If you do not like the movie playing on the screen, do you run up to the screen and try to scrub the picture off with a cloth? No, that is useless. The screen is just a reflection. To change the picture, you must go back to the projection booth and change the film. The film is your belief. The screen is your reality. You must turn your back on the screen of appearances and trust the invisible film of your faith. This is the hardest work you will ever do when the bills are piling up.
It takes great strength to close your eyes and see abundance. When there is confusion all around you, it takes great courage to close your eyes and see peace. But you must understand that the supply is already there. The invisible realm is not empty. It is crowded. It is crowded with your blessings. It is crowded with the house you want, the money you need, the health you claim. They are all there, suspended in the fourth dimension, waiting for you to believe in them. But the moment you look at the physical obstacle and say it is impossible, you snap the connection. You must be like the captain of a ship in the fog. He cannot see the shore, but he trusts his compass. He does not turn the ship around because he cannot see the land. He keeps sailing, knowing the land is there. You must sail on through the fog of January. Do not be moved by what you see. Do not be moved by what the news says. Do not be moved by what your neighbors say. Stand on the rock of truth. Say to the invisible, I know you are there. I know my good is prepared, and I am walking toward it, now. Often, just before the big demonstration, just before the miracle breaks through, everything seems to go wrong. This is the darkness before the dawn. This is the chemicalization. Do not panic. Stand still. Hold your ground. The invisible is working. The universe is rearranging itself. And if you hold your vision, if you refuse to accept the evidence of your senses, the invisible must become visible. So,
Put on your spiritual spectacles. Look past the lack. Look past the fear. See the harvest. It is yours. It is ready. Trust the invisible. And so, my friends, we come to the end of the beginning. You now hold the keys to the kingdom. You understand that the struggle is unnecessary. You understand that the trying is a trap. And you understand that the universe is simply waiting for your clear, distinct, and fearless command. Pause 2 seconds. As you walk out into this new month, do not look back at the shadows of the past year. Lot's wife looked back and turned into a pillar of salt. To look back is to crystallize the past. Look forward. Look only at what you desire. January is not a mountain you must climb. It is a gift you must unwrap. So, go to your quiet place, write your orders, speak your word, and then catch the rhythm of the universe. Be happy. Be expectant. Act as though your prayer is already answered. Set a plate for the guest you are expecting. Make space in your closet for the abundance that is rushing toward you. The long arm of God reaches out to you today. It reaches past your mistakes.
it reaches past your fears. It says, Behold, I make all things new. You are not a victim of circumstance, you are a master of destiny. So stop trying harder, stand still, watch the salvation of the Lord. Your good is here, your good is now, order it, it is done.